front row, then I can say, ooh, what? Hey, did anyone else go to the American Express event last night?
We were in class.
Oh. It's supposed to supersede class. Is that Curl's class?
Yeah.
So, I went to it. It was, you didn't miss anything. I just wondered if anyone else. Well,
Yesterday.
well, I'm gonna finish up some of our proxy talk-ish. But are there any questions before we start?
Yeah.
So hopefully you got the Windows thingy turned in the other day.
Yes.
Everybody do? Yes. If you didn't, go ahead and turn it in. Because some people thought since I said it was due this week, they thought it meant our standard due date.
Take 2 points off it.
Yeah. All right. There was a YouTube video I was going to watch, but I can't remember what it was. That's
Prank
all right.
versus prank.
I haven't seen that one.
Maybe the zombie prank. Pizza prank I saw.
Well, as we were leaving last time, I was going to show you Squid Guard, but to summarize everything, you don't need to know how to use it for your assignment. Essentially, Squid Guard is another program that we can use to pass rules in Squid. That's all it was. So I was saying, oh, we downloaded some blacklists, and we can point these blacklists to Squid for easier management. You know, someone else maintains the blacklist. All we do is we point our Squid to read those blacklists and filter the appropriate traffic. So I did want to show you. So I won't do any more about Squid Guard. I'm not going to want to talk more about it, but I want to look at Dan's Guardian for a minute. Sudo apt-get install Dan's Guardian. This is another proxy server that is like Squid. And I'll also note there that it installs some other extra packages. Anyone know what ClamAV is?
No.
It's an antivirus program, Clam antivirus program. So what Dan's Guardian can do, as well as, I mean, just like our Squid proxy, Dan's Guardian can actually scan files and detect if they have a virus signature. I haven't done that, but or I haven't configured that. So, oh, Dan's Guardian, where is this? Huh. All right. So when you do an apt-get, the first thing it says is Dan's Guardian has not been configured. So it says go ahead and edit etsydansguardian.conf manually and then rerun this script. So the first thing we have to do is sudo vi etsydansguardian.conf, and essentially we put a comment right there where it says unconfigured. The only other, now this file is not near as long as the Squid one, and I'm not going to configure anything else in here, but we can specify where we're going to log. This is Etsy, Dan's Guardian, dansguardian.com. So I just wanted to point out what port this is listening on. What port was Squid listening on by default?
I don't know. There's like 16,000 lines in that configuration file.
It's actually this bottom one, 3128. So Dan's Guardian, this is what's kind of weird here, is, let's see here. Here's your client. We're going to point it to go through Dan's Guardian, which in turn goes through a proxy, and we're using Squid. You could use any other proxy, and then it goes out to the web.
So this does not replace Squid.
Right. It's an addition to it, an addition to a proxy. So we are going to funnel, as soon as we turn on our proxy connection from Firefox, I'm going to make it go to this server, port 8080, and it in turn is going to go over to 3128. And in fact, I don't think I even have Squid on this machine, so I'll probably have to send it over to my other machine that has Squid running on it. But I just want to point out that I'm not making any changes there. Yeah. 3128. So I didn't make any changes there except that second line that I commented out.
Which one was that? Like configuration one?
Where it just says unconfigured. Put a comment inside of it, or in front of it. Yeah, Squid's not running on this one, let me. So if yours is running on the same machine, in fact, why don't we just install it on the same machine? That'll be easiest. So we're here. Make sure that Squid is running okay still. Maybe. All right, so I can go through the proxy and then let's see that view. Note that a proxy can slow you down. I don't know if I'm going through the proxy or not. Didn't we have it flipping my images when I left?
That was the last one.
Oh, there we go. So it is flipping those images. That's what we're doing. Okay. So I'm just making sure that line's commented out. And then, then you restart Dance Guardian. And it should say okay. And should be listening. Oops. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Well, thought it would be listening. Okay, well, we'll try it. So instead of, let's see, how do we change our proxy settings? Remember Firefox?
You go to Firefox, preferences, settings.
And I'm just changing that port from 3128 to 8080. And whatever. Okay. Still flips it. Good. So I think it's still working okay because I pointed it to a different port, and that's what I hope it does. All right, so now let's go over to our Dan's Guardian directory and just take a look at what we have in there. This one has, most importantly, this lists directory, where inside that lists directory. Now with Squid, I'm sorry, we're basically filtering based on layer 3, layer 4 data, right? We're basically filtering based on IP address, domain name, port. Does that sound right? Post or get request, time of day. We could do those things with Squid. However, with Dan's Guardian, we can do a lot of that, but we can also analyze the layer 7 data, or the stuff that's in the HTTP page. So, now I will warn you, as you look in some of these files, there are some explicit advisory materials in there, so. But as you look at, say, band, I'm sorry, let's go to the list directory. Band extension list. These are the extensions that they cannot download. If they try to download these, we should block it. So I want to see if that's actually working. Let's see if you're going to have something somewhere to test that. 1 second. Oh, okay. Oh, this is my, oh, Apache, all right. So. Wait, hang on. Oh yeah, whoops, that's the wrong one, I don't want to do that one. Un momento. I'm just trying to find an exe file I can pretend to download, but it won't be that one. Yeah, I'm going to do that. All right. What was our, where was our Nginx files at?
The Etsy Nginx.
No, the content. CD user share Nginx www. Yeah, that's right. Almost there. I think I got it. All right. So this is what happens when Dan's Guardian is working correctly. So you can type in that URL as well. So I just created a temporary file called foo.exe, and we can see that that pops up. New Firefox, like every week. Okay. Does anyone else get get Dan's Guardian to load up their denial page? So all I've done with Dan's Guardian is uncommented, or commented out that line, restarted it, pointed my browser to it.
I would, except I'm still struggling with turning off the Apache port 8080. It's conflicting with Dan's Guardian's port 8080, so my machine's running like really, really, really slow.
So you could go to Dan's Guardian and change that port to some of the ports.
I'm already loading up my Apache file to turn off the 8080.
Yeah, we could just do, that's the Apache 2 to stop. Turn it off. Banned IP list. So now I could ban different IPs, ban MIME type. What's MIME type anyways? Seen those before? MIME types, multi-purpose internet mail extensions, defined. So this one is going to block me from downloading any MPEG files. Okay, fine. I'll let you play around in there and find some other stuff. Some cool things are, once again, you see some explicit lyrics probably here in just a second. Let's see, where is it? Filter groups, phrase lists. For example, URL, regular expression list. Modifying regular expressions, you can see the thing here, the format is extended regular expression and then what you want to replace it with. So, let's try that. URL, regular expression list. And this is how an example of how you use it to replace all that word with that word. So now if I were to say, let's see, computers with Linux. visit cit.dixie.edu. Well, let's try that again.
It's probably cached.
Could be.
Or since you put in
Oh,
computers.
computers. Hello. Go away. Oh, I wonder if I have to, I don't know if I have to restart, I do have to restart Dance Guardian when I make a change like that. I think it looks better with everything upside down. Ah, okay, hang on a second. Let's see if that went back on. It's not what I want to see. Maybe it has to be caps. Let's try that. I know it works. Okay. Computer. I'm doing something wrong here. Maybe I'm in the wrong list. Swear that's the right one. I don't know why that's not happening. It's not replacing. Am I going through my proxy? Hang on. And that's still working. One more second. Maybe they changed something back there. So this is where they're sourcing all those files. Anyway, some of the other ones are, they have some weighted phrase. I'll see if I can find it in a second, but they have some weighted phrases. So if they find so many counts of a bad word or phrase, then it will be banned. Exception URL list. Is it URL regular expression list? Weighted phrase list. So you can score different words, and if the score reaches a certain count, it'll ban it. So cool. Let's see, maybe I have to restart Squid. I'll just stop them both. Maybe that'll help. So I'm gonna refresh that. Yep, that's what I expect. That's a bad place. Sorry. Of course, examples don't work when I'm trying to use them. Oh, sorry. Here I am in the URL of regular expression, wasn't I? Is that where I was at? So if it's in the URL, or maybe it's even in, yeah, see how it went to linux.com, the URL? That's, okay, I was in the wrong place. And so, it was actually in, not URL regular expression, it was in exception, banned URL, content regular expression list, I believe. the same, but. See if I have to reload here. Yep. Sometimes takes a while. Oh, see, there it went. Didn't change the image, but right there, where it said Computer and Information Technology Department.
You can really mess with people with that.
Yeah.
With that.
So, I thought that was kind of cool. You can go into these different lists, and there's so many different ones. Just figuring out which one you want to go into. And, exception, IP list, MIME type, phrase list. When they're a phrase list. If any of the phrases below appear on the web page, then it will bypass the filtering and be allowed through. For example, medical. And there's so many different combinations of how you use that. Spaces make a difference as well. So it's kind of interesting. So that's that. So if I were to ask you what additional feature does Dan's Guardian have that Squid does not, what would you say?
Antivirus.
Okay, true. And I haven't tested that. What else?
It can filter things, words.
Okay, so it can actually look in, whereas Squid can actually look inside the HTTP data. Inside the HTTP packet, the GET request. Whereas Dan's Guardian can. And I don't see any control for like ports here. We can ban people from going to different sites or to different URLs, but we can't ban them. Essentially, it's outbound only. I can't ban clients from coming in and accessing resources. So anyway, and I haven't looked at how to use the antivirus thing, but that might be something interesting. So, okay, go over here. These are proxy. Sweet. You are. Hopefully now we have enough information to do our filtering assignment. So we looked at Squid, and you need to restrict people from using Internet Explorer browser, from accessing sites on Thursdays, Fridays from 8 to 5. Restrict anyone from accessing any Dixie.edu site. Restrict anyone who has a word. I'll change that to corn. Restrict the HTTP post method from anyone. And then Dan's Guardian, you're going to rewrite any verses of the word apple to banana. And then another one, chicken deliver or something like that. Block a site if both the words evil and Linux appear on the same page.
Oh, yes.
Block downloads of PowerPoint files. And research how you might use one more of the Dan's Guardian list that we didn't talk about in class. Write a rule and test it. And show me how you use it. So to pass that off, you need to give me a link to your proxy so that I can test it. And then copy paste all of your Squid ACLs, and I'll test to make sure it works. It would be even better, let's see here, if you, I guess you don't need to provide me a link. I'll just create a page that has the links that I can click on to test all those. So, well, yeah. Proxies are very exploitable for malicious do-batters on the internet. Make sure you're listening at the port above, and then disable your proxy when we're done. Even though I don't have it open from off campus, yeah, if I did, and I have done it before, I have opened up some of those ports, 3128 from off campus, and we get hit really quick, so probably turn those off again after we're done. Okay, any questions there? So what you're doing? I think we've talked about most of them, so. Since many people aren't here, do you want to have the rest of the time to work on this assignment or the Windows assignment? Or should we just keep going?
Remember to make sure that you are tasteful. We need not experiment with any professional sites to test our rules.
Yeah, so I'm going to change corn to corn so we don't have to worry about that one.
You don't have to worry about Jeff actually directing you to porn.
Yeah. So, any other questions you guys have? Do you want time to work on your assignment, or should we just keep moving on and talk about some more stuff? No
Whatever.
preference?
I'm for whatever.
I'm for whatever. It's your guys' call.
If we keep going, what are we gonna cover?
Proxies. Well, so I'm done with Squid and Dan's Guardian. We're going to talk about how I can proxy with Apache to do load balancing. Apache load balancing.
Should probably wait to do that one until my machine's got Apache running again.
And I think I changed that. Let's make sure. Yeah, change corn to corn. There you go. Let's go back and look at our schedule then for a minute. See where we're at. So what week are we really on? Are we on week 10? So I got through Squid and Dan's Guardian. So really, I am going to talk about mod proxy and load balancing. Yeah, it's an important topic. F5, I'm probably not going to do. Thought it would be cool, but it's not cool. So. And then, so that's what's due next week is our filtering assignment. So Monday, then I'll probably talk about mod proxy and load balancing, and then we'll get into SSL, and that's where we'll be at. So. Well, then I'm done today. I'll call that, and if you want to work on your assignment, great. I'll come around and answer questions. If you want to procrastinate till next Saturday to do it, fine, but I won't be available for questions.
So proxy is so vulnerable, why do you use it?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, why do you use it if they're vulnerable? Well, they're vulnerable if you don't lock it down. We haven't locked it down to say only allow clients. Okay, so I'll take it back. Proxies are not bad. Yeah, if you appropriately secure them. If it's part of like inside my organizational structure where I want to funnel all of my traffic through these proxies, that's great. I guess the bad thing is open proxies on the internet. Because if I have an open proxy on the internet, then anyone can connect to it. Proxies make requests on your behalf. So anyone could connect to it, do it, and then do bad stuff on the internet, but it would look as if it was coming from your server. So that's how a lot of illicit activity takes place, kiddie porn.
Browser hijacking.
Yeah, oh yeah, but I don't know, any sort of hacking, these hackers look for open proxies, they go through it, browse, do whatever bad stuff they want to do. So why would anyone set up an open proxy? Usually it's because they don't want people to see what they're doing, or they're malicious people themselves, they want to see what dumb people they can get to connect to their proxy so they can intercept their credentials and so forth. And maybe that's not a 100% accurate or assumption. I've connected, have either of you connected to open proxy? This one wasn't entirely open. I had to actually register for it, but I did it just for fun. Yeah, anyone watch Merlin? BBC program? So it's available here. Anyway, BBC programs are generally take a year or so later to be able to watch them here in the US. So what I did is someone had set up an open proxy, a proxy in the UK that you could connect to. And if you're in the UK, you can actually access bbc.uk.
All their TV or online.
Yeah, you can watch all their programs. And so you connect to the proxy over in the UK, it makes the request for you, the video request for you, and then you start watching the video as if you're in the UK. So that's an example of using a proxy. Still, it's probably a questionable activity though, isn't it? I mean, sort of morals, I suppose. So I felt bad after a while when I did do it. But it was interesting to set it up. But as far as legitimate uses, I think organizations can use them to restrict traffic going out and what their users are doing. Anyone ever worked for an organization that has a proxy in place, or you can do a lot of the same thing with firewalls, of course.
Firewalls are much more secure than proxies.
Yeah. So. All right, I'll stop there. Come around and answer questions if you have.